Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Got another great show for you here today. I'm going to be joined by Jason DiRienzo, my podcast co host, and we are going to drop our top 10 freshman running backs headed to college football. You play Devy, you play C2C, and you have supplemental drafts this summer. You are going to want to watch this show. We are going to break it all down. We've watched the Hudl film for the last few weeks, and we are going to give you our top 10 running backs. So, like I said, you play the Devy format, C2C format. Hit the subscribe button. Please help me grow the channel. Got all sorts of film breakdowns also on this channel for the majority of the guys that we are going to profile today. Let's not waste any more time. Enjoy the show. Let's get into our top 10 freshman running backs. All right. So, guys, just preface it out there. These are going to be 2027 draft eligible running backs. They are not going to be eligible 2025, 2026. So, we're going to have to wait 3 years. But we've been watching the Hudl film. We're having a good time doing this. And there's kind of what I'm looking for in basing these ranks is obviously, the skills, right? The traits, the the vision, my sweet feet meter, right? Which I think I might coin that or something. I think I'm going to do something fun with my sweet feet meter. I kind of like the tone of that. But anyway, lateral movement, explosion, athleticism, right? That's what we want to see when we watch the film. And what kind of size do they have? I think plays some sort of a role. Conference, I think, plays a little bit of a role too for me. And really opportunity, I think, is factored into my ranks. Did I miss anything? I mean, as far as, I kind of weight them kind of equally a little bit, but really I'm going to lean on the traits, but if I see an opportunity that is going to be wavering, they might not be as high on my list because I might not want to wait 2 years, given the depth charts of some of these teams. Did I miss anything?
No, I think just the physicality. Are they, can they create the mental processing, initial
Mhm.
burst? Like we're going to be checking a lot of boxes as we go through these reports.
Yeah, and the thing is too, it's really tough because you sent me a comment that was really interesting the other day when you were like, you have to watch them back to back. You can't watch
Ah,
one and sit back for a week and then watch another one. And I completely agree with you because they all look the same after a while because these kids are
they
dominating.
do.
They're
Yeah.
dominating on the field, right? That's why they're
Hmm.
5 stars, 4 stars. That's why we're talking about them tonight. So they all look very dominant on the field. So you got to kind of just, we're going to do our best and have some fun with this. So I'm going to kick it off to you, my
Yeah.
good friend. Give me your first, who's your RB1 of the 2027 class? Let's go.
Ah, bit of a switch here, and it might be alarming to some people to hear the name, but Kevin Riley, Alabama,
Spicy.
commit, and man, I did not expect this. I did not expect this at all. But as I put on the film and I'm watching him run, I'm like, dude, this is an NFL running back. Look, right out the gate, I felt that. I saw the size, I saw the speed. He's got that physicality I like. He gets low between the tackles, understands exactly how to manipulate with just the gestures with his body, and then executes the physicality with it. I just think that all the things I'm looking for in a running back, creating on his own, just doesn't, just plays physical, keeps his legs turning through contact, and I think the pass catching is going to be there for him too, even though it was very limited. He
Hmm.
just seems like he just seems like that Josh Jacobs type to me. And I came away impressed. And what like I said, I didn't expect it. So when I walked away from his film and started watching others back to back, I just kept going back to Riley. Like, man, this kid's legit. So he's my RB1.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I got him a little farther down the list because that opportunity is going to be years away, I think. And I
For
think there's
sure.
a chance he
Yeah.
could transfer, but he's on my list. He's in my top 10, but he's down there a little bit. All right. My guy, Nate Frazier, is my RB1. I mean, I don't know. I just think this guy is the whole package. His acceleration like pops for me on tape. He runs low to the ground, just like you had mentioned about Riley. He had a tremendous downfield catch in the All-American game. I mean, a vertical down the sideline catch, which was really impressive. And again, Georgia, we're gonna have to wait a little bit. But I don't know. He just really looked good to me out of all the guys, just kind of like how you felt about Kevin Riley. And just as a shameless plug, I just put out a Kevin Riley film with Luigi a couple days ago. That was one that we just
Nice.
recorded this past Sunday. So, and I've got his whole Huddle film breakdown on that. So go to the YouTube channel. You can check that out. But yeah, I got Nate Frazier, and I think you're going to talk about him here too.
Yeah, I mean, he's my RB2, and everything you just said, I'll echo. I mean, he just seems like that next level running back.
Mhm.
And I think the speed is there, the contact balance, the
Yep.
tenacity as a runner. He just seems like a Georgia Bulldog running back, and I highly expect him to translate pretty well at the next level.
Yeah, and Trevor Etienne's going to be the guy this year. Roderick Robinson
Yeah, he's
is
going to be the
also
guy.
is going to be there as well. So Nate Frazier, might get on the field a little bit, but I would expect if Trevor Etienne transfers, or declares for the NFL draft, that we're going to see Nate Frazier next year. Branson Robinson with that
Yeah,
horrific knee injury may not just be the same. Who knows? I'm going to go with my second guy because Nate Frazier was your number two, and I might as well keep pace here. I'm going to go with Kedren
yeah.
Young. I know you're a Notre Dame guy too, and I have a feeling he's
Hmm.
probably not far down on your list. But I'll tell you what, man,
Not at all.
that the athleticism and speed combo of this dude was really impressive. I think he flashed during that spring game a lot. I think his film on the Hudl film is great. Um, I just his size and his lateral ability, and he just seemed to be unique. Now, there's a lot of other bigger running backs, kind of bruising running backs in this class, but I thought he was head and shoulders above anybody else, given you know well, there's a couple guys, but given his size, I think, and he's got Love and Price in front of him. And the
Hmm.
guy Payne tore his ACL, so he's going to be number three. And
Yeah,
if
he's
something
up.
were to happen, I don't know. I have a feeling he could get on the field this year a little bit.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if we see him get some run. I mean, it's gonna be hard to keep a guy like this off the field because he can
Mhm.
do so many different things and he's so physical. Like if they're gonna miss Audric Estime, they're gonna be so happy that they have Young in that backfield. So yeah, he's gonna be a special talent. Um, my third guy is gonna be Tennessee running back Peyton Lewis. The one thing I'm not sure about with him is the pass catching and blocking, but everything
Thing
else
else is good.
just screams like the NFL is going to love this kid, especially the speed. I mean, speed for days. So, just real quick, some of my notes. I think he's a relentless runner with the ball in his hand. Very good start and go with good acceleration, have a stop. Very patient to let the lanes develop. Lowers his pads, and just shows a good tenacity in the second level. His speed, I mean, it would not shock me if he's got that Jalen Wright 4.3 type of speed. Shows good bursts to the outside, good long speed to break off big plays, quick processor through the trenches, used on special teams as a punt returner, and shows good lateral quickness involving above average agility. So he can do it all. He's a creator on his own. It's just the blocking and pass catching I'm not too sure about, which is holding me back a little bit. But for RB3, it's not being held back that much.
Yeah, I got Lewis on my top 10. He's just a little farther down there. So I'm going to go to my third guy. All right. Going back to Lewis. Well, when I talk to him, I'll fill in what I was going to say. But my third guy, is not even on your list. So this is going to
Now
be
he's not on
nice.
my
So
list.
so you guys are going to get top 10, but you're really going to get top 12 or I think or 13 or 14 because I think we
Probably.
we each have a couple players that we don't have on each other's list, which is great because we went. But I
Yeah.
got James People, man, from Ohio State. Dallin Hayden, he is gone, right? He's in Colorado. If Judkins and Henderson go to the NFL right now, there is nobody else on this Ohio State backfield. But that's not why I have him number three. I think he's got that compact frame and build. Some of my notes, he's got a thick lower half. I thought his vision was really, really good. And I think he's got a path to playing time in 2025. And
Mm.
Ohio State running backs, for the majority, he was I think he was like sixth or seventh ranked in 24/7 Sports. I'm not sure,
Something like
but
that,
man,
yeah.
I love the way he just his compact frame and build. I thought he had some hustle and some acceleration, and I thought his sweet feet meter was above average. So I got James People here at number three. I'm really surprised you don't have him on your list. Tell me what don't
Yeah,
I see? What don't you like about the guy?
yeah, he seemed a little stiff to me. Like it wasn't a fluid lateral movement that he would make. It was more of
Okay.
like a linear type of run. And he's very upright when he was running, so that kind of bothered me a little bit. And I wanted to see just a little bit more physicality than what he delivered in the Huddle film. So that just kind of held me off for the moment. I've seen some of
Okay.
these Ohio State running backs come through. I'm a little hesitant with Peoples.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Um,
you're number four. Who you got number four?
My number 4 is Kedren Young. I think we kinda discussed him, pretty
Mhm.
thoroughly, so I'll let you kinda go to your number 4.
I got Taylor Tatum. Some notes here. I got going to Oklahoma. I think he's a good accelerator, shifty athlete. Now, he lacked a passing profile in high school. He needs to run a little better between his pads, but I am not a Sawchuck guy and a Barnes guy either. And I think this guy could legitimately take over the backfield in 2025.
Mhm.
I know he's ranked number one, I think, for 24/7. I don't know where he is on three. But I just came away overall with his ability to make guys miss. Wasn't afraid of the contact, physical player. I liked what I saw when I was watching Tatum.
He's an explosive guy, and he's not too far down my list either. Man, my number 5, I'm actually kinda surprised you don't have him on your list, so here we go.
Yeah.
It's gonna be, Miami running back Jordan Lyle, and honestly, when I was watching him, he looked like one of the more complete backs from the backs I'm watching. So just real quick, I think he's got a really good thick build to him, especially in the lower body. Good burst off the handoff, makes quick decisions, doesn't waste any movement, plays physical and tenacious. He's got quick cuts in the trenches that he navigates through, shows a gear change in the second level, keeps his legs moving through contact, can execute high speed change of direction. And he's got good enough long speed, not great, but you saw him break off some big plays. It's not elite, but he definitely has enough juice. And I just don't know about the pass catching and the blocking, but I'm sitting here thinking, Mark Fletcher, Damian Martinez is going to go off to the NFL. Travion Citizen's not there. I think Lyle could have a nice opportunity early on.
Yeah, I think yeah, he's gonna have to obviously wait his turn as well. I got him number 12, just so like in
Wow.
my in
Okay.
my in my dashboard. And the one thing I didn't see the like the I thought he looked like one of those more thinner frame backs when I was watching him. I didn't see
See, I don't, yeah, I didn't see a thinner frame to me.
yeah,
It seemed like in the lower frame he was pretty thick. So
yeah.
I
So
love that though, man.
yeah, let's have some different players, right? So,
Yeah,
sounds
absolutely.
great. So I went with my probably my Homer love, Jaden Baugh at from Florida. He had a fantastic spring game, made me a believer. Lateral movement skills for a 6 foot, 237 pound man. It was like super, super impressive. And I'm going to predict that he gets on the field this year, but don't know what his receiving profile was in high school. But man, this guy, I think, given his size and speed combo, and the cuts that he made in that spring game, I remember watching that spring game and I'm like, who the hell is this guy? I mean, look at this. And then it was again and again and again and again. And I was
Right.
like, holy shit. I mean, I had to like cut up a video and put it out on YouTube. And a lot of people out there were agreeing with me that the guy has got some skills. So Jaden Ball,
Yeah.
probably a little higher on him. But this is just a fun exercise anyway. So I'm going
Oh,
to
for
put
sure.
him here at number 5 here. He's midway through Jaden Ball from Florida.
Yeah, honestly, I like him too. I think the spring game might have been one of the better games I watched in comparison to his high school film because I
Hmm.
was waiting to see a little bit more explosive burst and speed from him in the high school film. I did not see that. Watching the spring game, I actually think he's a very intelligent runner. I think he makes very quick decisions, and that improves his overall play speed. So I
Hmm.
agree with you. I have Taylor Tatum at number 6. I agree with everything that you said. I think he's just an explosive player. I think he is going to have early opportunity. Javante Barnes is probably going to get out of there. Yeah, I just think he's got it all. He could do really well. It's just that he's a little bit thinner than I expected. So I want to see a little bit more mass put on the lower body. But other than that, there's a lot of upside.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a guy with a little bit of mass, but he goes to Penn State. Quinton Martin Jr. I've got it number 6. I think he's just going to. He is the potential to be an explosive playmaker. I mean, this guy.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a PPR back? Um, this guy is going to get on the field. And I'm really hopeful that this year, Penn State, if you're going to go with the 1-2 punch with Singleton and Allen, I'd love to see this guy. You watch his high school film, and Luigi and I believe we did a film on this guy too. You watch his high school film, he's like out in the slot half the time. I mean,
I
so
know.
he was a versatile player. Now he's a little thin. I don't have his measurements right in front of me, but I know he's like 6'1", maybe 190. But he's going to Penn State, man. They're going to put 20 pounds on this young man in no time at all. But his pass catching ability alone in PPR, and I just hope Franklin realizes what they have in this kid, and they don't, marinate him on the bench. Just put his ass in there. They have no wide receivers at Penn State, so why not just put him in there in the slot and get him on the field? He's an explosive playmaker that has to be on the field this year for Penn State to help that pathetic offense that they run up there. I know they have a new OC, but I like Quinton Martin Jr.
Yeah, I like him too. I think the only hard part was I saw him so much as a receiver. I never really got a good read of what he is as an actual running back.
Hmm.
So that's the only thing that's holding me up. So he's raw, but because he's raw, there's a ton of untapped potential and upside with him. And I
Hmm.
like the way that Penn State develops. So that's going to be nice. I'm going to go at number 7. I have Caden Durham, LSU running back, probably the fastest running back in this entire class, speed for days. Wouldn't surprise me if he's that 4.3, maybe even high 4.2 type of guy. And because of that, I love the speed. I love the finesse as a runner, twitchy athlete, makes quick cuts, good adjustments, get him in open space, and you got an absolute problem. But just want to see a little bit more physicality. I do think he's competitive, but I don't think he has that, that frame to really ward off defenders, and break through tackles yet. He might get there, and I want him to get there. So the upside of that speed, kind of like a Dylan Sampson with a little bit more mass,
Hmm.
I think the NFL is going to love, and I think the LSU is going to have a hard time not using this guy in the field.
Yeah, he's in my top 10. I can't disagree. His long speed was tremendous in those Huddle films. They really
He's a big
were.
playmaker.
Yeah, he certainly is. And so I got number 7. I got Peyton Lewis. So, he was up higher on your list. Cam Seldon
Mhm.
has a shoulder surgery. There's a good chance he's going to miss the first part of the season. And Dylan Sampson is the presumed starter. But you do any research on Lewis, let me tell you, they're hoping that if Seldon, is out for any lengthy part of time, that Lewis is going to get an opportunity. But man, he looks good. I mean, I agree with you. There was a stat here in his semifinals this year, in this final year of high school, he had 373 yards and 4 touchdowns on 30 carries. So he has that
Uh,
SEC workhorse look to him. They don't really have workhorses in Tennessee. Maybe that's not such a bad thing, but I'm on board with you with Lewis in the top 10. He looks like he's going to be a good player.
I think he's going to be a good player. Number 8, maybe you can help me with the names. The Clemson running back,
Mm-hmm.
David Eziomume.
And Mume,
Um,
close enough.
Eziomume.
You're
Let's say
asking
that.
me. You're asking me
I know
to do a
I'm
last
asking
name.
you.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah, this is the problem. Anyway, I actually really like this kid. I wasn't sure what to expect when I jumped in. I heard a lot of people, there was some buzz around him, but I was kind of pleasantly surprised. He was a lot more of an NFL type running back than I expected. Kind of remind me of how Jadan Baugh, however you say his name, the Florida running back, kind of
Yeah.
remind me of the same particular type of running style. I don't think he's a fluid athlete, but he's got enough juice. He makes quick decisions, understands the gaps that are developing, and hits the hole with commitment. I really liked him, and I think he's going to be great as a pass catcher too. So this could be one of those guys where Clemson kind of found a gem here. I'm not sure if there's a ton of upside with him, but he is definitely a very solid running back that I feel pretty good about.
Yeah, he didn't make my top 10. I was a little concerned watching his film. Like he was so big. I didn't see a lot of lateral ability with him. He seemed like
Yeah, I agree with
another,
that. Yeah.
um, probably seemed like another, the kid from Wisconsin that we didn't like. He just came
Oh,
out this year.
Braylon?
Yeah, Braylon Allen, like a bigger, one cut up the field, but not, make guys miss. He just seemed to be a little bit, which I kind of take that lateral movement, a little bit, in my standing. So for number 8 for me, I got Kevin Riley, who was your number 1.
Mhm.
So I don't disagree with you at all with what you said. I found him to run a little upright, but I think that's all fixable stuff. But and the freaking backfield is just so, like, I don't know if I want to take him as my RB1 and have to wait for 2 years. And you love Richard Young and Justice Haynes if he's as special as we think he is, and he runs the rock for 2 years there. Is Riley going to have to transfer? I feel like there's just a lot of uncertainty and length, and that's kind of why I've had him down here. I think there's other guys that might get on the field a little sooner, but nonetheless. So you've got number 9. Who do you got?
Yeah, this is where I have Jadan Baugh, the Florida running back, and I think we discussed him pretty well.
Pretty much, So the only new name that you don't have on your list that I do, I really was impressed with Jordan Marshall,
Yeah.
Michigan running back.
Okay.
I thought he had some good
This is one I did not
acceleration.
think you would like, honestly.
Really? Okay, good.
So I want to hear this. Yeah.
No, I just did. He kind of showed, everything that I look for. He has the physicality. I think his vision, I thought, was like really good. I thought he could move laterally. He punishes people with good pad level. I don't know. I mean, I think the lateral movement in these players is kind of, with the exception, I mean, I don't disagree with you, with some of these players, they don't have like the best lateral movement, but I don't know,
Mhm.
given his size, I thought he looked good on those fields, man. I thought he was making guys miss. I thought he had enough acceleration to get around the edge. So I gave him my sweet feet meter at number 7. So I guess if you're a 7 or above, I'm gonna
Yeah,
start
you know
using the
what?
sweet
For
feet meter. So
you need to, yeah. Maybe we should just do a segment, sweet feet or not. I don't know.
yeah,
We'll
exactly.
see.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but Jordan Marshall to me, it was just more so like I don't disagree. I think he was a fluid mover and everything, but his mental processing, man, it was like he always wanted to go for those big chunk plays, and he was never
Hmm.
content with taking what was right in front of him, and that kind of drove me a little bit Donovan Edwards ish to me with the
Okay.
vision and mental processing, but everything else I completely agree with. Let's go. My last guy is gonna be Quinton Martin Jr. I think you described him very well. His PPR status in fantasy is going to be off the charts. People are going to love that about him. I mean, he can line up anyone on the field like you discussed. It's
Hmm.
more so that I just want to see the development as a pure runner. How
Right.
is he with identifying developing gaps and understanding what his offensive linemen are doing to help him out and getting
Sure.
into the second level and identifying defensive schemes and reads. So once I see all that put together, I'll feel a little bit better. But the upside is tremendous with this kid.
Yeah. And my number 10 is Caden Durham from LSU. So, and like I said, I
Nice.
Jordan Lyle at number 12, not far behind. So that's awesome, man. We gave you guys a list of players, and I'm really surprised. We were kind of talking pre-show that Cam Davis. I'm wondering if the listeners are going to be and the viewers are going to be interested that we didn't have Cam Davis on the list. I just didn't find
Yeah,
him overly exciting personally.
I didn't either.
And he's very raw at the position as well. And like you had mentioned, he's very interested in baseball too. So he holds a lot of risk. So
Mm.
it's very interesting. A player that didn't really, have a ton on his film as far as, running the ball going to, a power four program like that at Florida State. It's going to be, but he's a Florida kid.
Yeah.
I think he wanted to go there forever, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he did, and I think back Cam Akers was the quarterback too, just like this kid with Cam Davis. But the thing is, Cam Akers, you could see the athleticism when he had the ball in his
Hmm.
hand in the Hudl film. I didn't
Right.
see the athleticism with Cam Davis, so there's a lot of red flags, which is why it's not worth me waiting 4, 5, 6 years for a guy to develop, even as a running back which the NFL is not even valuing. So I
Right.
had no interest.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you guys got it. There is our 10 freshman running backs. I think next week we're going to do wide receivers, right? Is that what we're going to do?
Wide
Wide
receivers.
receivers?
Yep, I believe so. Right? Isn't that what we had on there?
Perfect. Let's do
Uh,
it.
yeah, let's do it.